Hi, everybody, and welcome to our council meeting. Here we have it, the middle of winter, May 26th of 2026. I might ask the Director of Public Works for a winter update in a few minutes. It's been so darn cold, but he's smiling at me, but we got to wait for the Capeland, I think, Mr. Dollamont. Council, before you see an agenda, I note the Deputy Mayor is joining us um, virtually. I'm going to pause for a second and trying to get, I see we are about to get that monitor screen, Deputy Mayor, up on ours. There you are. Okay, perfect. Thank you, everybody. Let's adopt the agenda. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Fry, seconded by Councillor Lane. All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Here we go. All right. So next we have the land acknowledgement. In recognition of the City of Mount Pearl's commitment to foster respectful and collaborative relationships with Indigenous peoples in the City of Mount Pearl and beyond, we hereby acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Beothuk and the Mi'kmaq. Mount Pearl and the broader metro region continue to be home to diverse Indigenous peoples, including First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. The minutes there, item number 3 from the previous meeting. Council, is there any errors or omissions? Thank you. Hearing none, I'm going to ask for a motion moved by the Deputy Mayor. Thank you. And seconded by Councillor Locke that we adopt those minutes. All in favor? And opposed again? None. That's carried. Thanks much. Any business arising, please? Hearing none, let's move on to the next section of the on the agenda, and we have a proclamation. Actually, we have two related to Recreation Month and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and hypermobility spectrum disorders awareness month. And I'm happy to invite Mr. Vic James to come up to the podium when you're ready, Vic. Okay. Yes, please. Yeah, and I know this is personal for you and your family, and we'll have a chance now to talk about it. With your permission, I'll read the I'll read it first. Good to see you, by the way, and thank you for coming. I think your wife was here last year. She was, eh? So whereas Ehlers-Danlos syndromes, EDS, are a group of 13 heritable disorders that affect the body's connective tissues, including the skin, joints, blood vessels, digestive system, and many other organs and tissues. EDS is characterized by looseness, instability, and dislocations of the joints, fragile and often hyperelastic skin that bruises, scars, and tears easily, unpredictable arterial and organ rupture causing acute pain, excessive internal bleeding, shock, stroke, and premature death. And whereas it is estimated that 1 in 5,000 individuals are born with EDS, and whereas HSD, which is hypermobility spectrum disorders, are diagnosed when the muscular skeletal complications of joint hypermobility and joint instability, in other words, ease of injury, joint pains, and dislocations, they arise in a person who does not have the defining features of EDS or another connective tissue disorder. Whereas EDS and HSD is frequently misdiagnosed and undiagnosed, an early and accurate diagnosis provides the opportunity to create medical plans that improve quality of life, and whereas further medical research and awareness can help bring hope for treatment and a cure. And whereas EDS and HSD Awareness Month is an opportunity to further educate the public and medical community in recognizing the signs and symptoms of these conditions. Therefore, I, the Mayor of Mount Pearl, on behalf of my colleagues here on this council, we proclaim May to be Ehlers-Danlos syndromes and hypermobility spectrum disorders awareness month in Mount Pearl, Newfoundland and Labrador. And I have fixed that. And Vic, thanks for coming in again. And with this There really is like two disorders that are really connected with each other, and connected is probably an inappropriate term, but it has to do a lot with connectivity within the system. I'm going to pass you a microphone if you'd like to share some thoughts from you and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me? Of course you can hear me. Well, hang on a second now.
Take your time.
As you get older, like there's three things that happen to you. You know, your eyesight gives out a little bit. Put my glasses. And also, fortunately, your hearing is affected. I can't remember the third thing. You know it. Yeah, our family has dealt with this syndrome condition now for quite some time. My daughter Jennifer, who lives in Australia and has done so since 2001, she has it, and this disease, this syndrome, is something that you inherit, but it doesn't always manifest itself immediately. It progresses, and like in her case, she was probably in her early to mid 30s. She's 51 now. In her early to mid 30s, that we began to see some things and we began to become aware. But just taking back to our childhood, like you all have heard and know of people who are, as we used to say, double jointed. Anybody who was really flexible, we call them double jointed. But in reality, what they have is a hypermobility condition where their joints go beyond where they're supposed to go. And that's what happens with this. And you know, when it happened, when Jennifer really got, a lot of things happened to her. I wouldn't say got sick, but a lot of things happened to her. You know, we didn't know what it was. The doctors didn't know what it was. So she has a friend that she went to school with, who she communicates with online, and Jen was posting one time about things that were happening to her, and her friend went back to her and said, "That sounds like a condition that one of my friends has, and it's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome." So then we began to pursue that, and sure enough, that's what it was. So, you know, had we not made that connection, that awareness that was created by her friend, you could have gone even longer without knowing what it was and what to do about it. Now, the thing of what to do about it, that's the real conundrum, because there's no cure. So what you have to do is continually deal with the conditions that arise. Jennifer is 51, and she's had 39 surgical procedures in the last 15, 16 years. And on top of that, those are actual medical procedures, interceptions, some really interesting ones too. I'll tell you a quick one. Your mandible, your lower jaw, she was having extreme pain up through her head and her neck. And anyway, they did some x-rays and some MRIs and things and discovered that it's a problem in that joint because, of course, joints are held together by connective tissues, which is affected by lack of collagen in the body as a result of the syndrome. So she had a surgery where they went in and they cut her mandible there and there, literally pulled out the jawbone and put an artificial piece in. So that's the kind of stuff. She can roll over in bed and dislocate her shoulder. Things of that nature. So these proclamations and so on are really important because the more people that are aware of this, then you know the more chance there is that people will be looking for it and recognize it sooner and be able to begin to deal with the issues that their children are suffering as a result of it. So it's a crazy thing. I think there are, so I looked up and I think there are 186,000 cases known in Canada. So it's, I mean, you think it's scarce, that's a lot of people. And that's just with Ehlers-Danlos. The hypermobility spectrum disorders, a whole different thing, and there's a lot more of those, in fact. And so that's, you know, this is the kind of thing. Any questions you have, I'm certainly prepared to try to answer. Not that I'm
I'll pass that over to our colleagues on council if anybody has any commentary, but we'll certainly do our part here today is not just to support you and your family, but everybody who may be afflicted, and it goes to family as well. And we'll be glad to promote it on our social media. If you'll join us in a minute for a picture, of course.
Absolutely.
Okay, Council, any comments? You good? Councilor Fry.
I just want to say thank you for coming in because prior to this, I didn't know anything about this. And hearing you speak all I could think about is somebody who is living with this and not understanding and not knowing what it is. So by you doing this and bringing awareness to it, I'm sure it must bring comfort to people when they finally get a diagnosis and know what it is, because it sounds horrible.
It really is. Yeah.
So I thank you for coming in and thank you for sharing this. And this is really important. So thanks for all you do. And I hope your daughter does well.
Thank you. Yeah.
Pitcher? All right, here we go. Picture, Bill. Picture. Come with me. Sir, you hold one piece. I'll hold the other. Breathe down. Come this way, baby. Yeah, over a little time. There we go, yeah. Your left. Say hi to your wife and your daughter. Appreciate that. That's your. Yes, please, yeah. We have another proclamation, and it's related to, everybody's very familiar with this, and it's worth pausing to talk about proclaiming Recreation Month, which is also the month of June, not also, is the month of June. So we've got two proclamations here that should get us out of winter and into summer. Recreation Month. Whereas the City of Mount Pearl recognizes that recreation enhances quality of life, active living, and lifelong learning, it helps people to live happier, longer, develops creativity, and builds healthy bodies and positive lifestyles. And whereas recreation provides opportunities for personal growth and development for people of all abilities and can be especially helpful to people living with disabilities. And whereas our parks, open spaces, and trails ensure ecological sustainability, provide space to enjoy nature, help maintain clean air and water, and preserve plant and animal wildlife. And whereas recreation is an important contributor to community economic development, which creates jobs, fosters tourism, and makes communities more attractive places in which to live, learn, work, and play. Therefore, be it proclaimed by this City Council that the month of June will be Recreation Month here in the city of Mount Pearl. And I invite all of our residents to enjoy all of the fabulous recreation facilities and programming and staff that we have here in the city of Mount Pearl. And Council, before I turn it over to you, I'd like to ask our manager of recreation, Jennifer Jones, if she would like to speak to the proclamation because she lives it and she works it.
Sorry. Yes, absolutely. So as someone who did grow up in Mount Pearl, recreation has always been such a big part of what makes our city so special. We are known for our outstanding recreation facilities, our trails, our parks, our playgrounds, and I just think Recreation Month is a great reminder of how important these spaces are for building healthy lifestyles.
Yeah, I've been on council now for 17 years and I've seen the city grow in so many ways. But the recreation growth, I think, is something that's been phenomenal over the years. We've got a great tax base and our residents really enjoy those so-called secondary or soft services. Councillor Locke?
I agree, Mayor, and having grown up here myself, I played primarily ice hockey in the wintertime and soccer and baseball, not organized in the summertime. But I know pickleball is picking up because I know Councillor Rice is a big advocate and player of that. And And of course, we got Councillor Antrell into bowling. He bowls regularly. And Councillor Rice also plays ice hockey. Councillor Fry is a good basketball player, although she doesn't admit it. So it's wonderful. And just from a personal perspective, I was at my son's house last evening with 3 grandchildren. And the oldest boy and our girl, our granddaughter, they were all flushed. They had just come back from tennis. And they just love tennis. And there's so many opportunities here. As Jennifer said, having watched Jennifer was a great athlete herself. I coached her in high school hockey. And she that was one of the many sports, I think, Jennifer, that you played in school. And you're right, it just does so much for your mood, your mental health and well-being, your physical well-being. And there's so much out here in the city of Mount Pearl. So it's a great month to remind the folks in the city just how much they can do here. So I appreciate this proclamation. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, thank you. Councillor Antle, then Councillor Rice.
Yes, we all had a comment on Recreation Month. Mount Pearl is so active. I'm on the trails all continual on my bike and walking. And you go on the trails on a fine day, and there's hundreds, there's not just dozens, there's hundreds on the trails. And Mount Pearl is so active. And that's no doubt to our recreation department that makes sure that our trails are up to scratch. So outside of the sports, everything in Mount Pearl is really booming, I guess. And thank you very much for everything we do.
Councillor Rice.
Thank you, Worship. No, I just want to comment, a short, brief comment. I think that's one of the reasons why me and my wife settled down here in Mount Pearl and we raised our 3 girls here, our family. We moved in here in 1988 and we noticed right from the get-go that the recreation facilities were, second to none. They were always kept up and we're always improving. That's what I like about the city of Mount Pearl. We're always improving our recreation facilities. And any opportunity we got to enhance or improve or get a new sport, I just picked up pickleball back in February, and it's great for activity. I'm getting older. I realize, we need some physical activity to keep your joints and your body moving. So recreation certainly contributes to that. But like I said a few minutes ago, anytime we get an opportunity to enhance our facilities, because I know now we got a brand new community center opening up now sometime soon. And then our Reed Center up there will be even busier again because all the, activities that are happening up there that are non-sport will move down to the new community center. So great to see, great city. We're always leading in that area, recreation in my personal opinion. And people are always around the region, are always looking to us. What are we doing here in Mount Pearl? So hats off and kudos. And Jane, congratulations to you and your team. You do a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Kiley, please.
I just want to congratulate the entire team as well, Jen, and everybody that's involved with of recreation. And one thing I just wanted to emphasize is just how deepened it has become over the years, that we understand it not only as a bricks and mortar, but through accessibility and inclusion. And we've certainly shown that, whatever your background may be and how old you are, it doesn't matter. Recreation will be there for you and support that for you. And that is one thing that has just been incredible. And we have a lot to be proud for.
Thank you very much. Any other further comments from colleagues or anybody else in the room? Hearing none, I think, shall we do a picture council? Anybody over there want to join us? We have a little surprise presentation. You couldn't see it in your kit because it's a video. Anybody hear about the FIFA event that's happening in Mount Pearl? Coming Monday? And I did ask, I asked this morning of Craig Dyer, who's the president of soccer, I said, the weather is not that good, right, Director Dalmat? It's just so cold, right? And I said, is there a backup plan? Can we put it in one of the buildings, for example, if it was pouring rain? And he said, no, there's multiple tractor trailers coming. It's to celebrate, and I think we're the first to start celebrating the fact that the FIFA World Cup for men's, not soccer, football, will be held in Canada, the United States, and Mexico. But here in Mount Pearl, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make it a real community celebration. So we're going to have everybody down to the field. So what we've done is a little video with the help of some of our soccer people on staff. And I'm going to ask Ms. Pico if she could play the video for us on the screen. And here she goes. I'm Dave Aker, Mayor of Mount Pearl. We're kicking off Canada Celebrates FIFA World Cup 2026 right here in Mount Pearl, starting at 4:30 on June 1st at the Team Gushue Sports Complex. It's free, it's fun, and it's perfect for the whole family. Catch a pre-tournament, international friendly match and celebrate the beautiful game with us. We've got a lot of soccer talent here in Mount Pearl, and we like to put our best foot forward. We're on the cusp of, a great event for North America, but we're happy that the city is partnering with some of our colleagues with the provincial government. I think there's some money being spent. So there will be a game. I don't know the name of the teams. There will be a game that doesn't come out until 10:30 at night, but I think there's arrangements made for, I think Mr. Dyer says 1,000 hot dogs and hamburgers to be served. So we're trying to get the whole community out. So that's a promotional video. And I'd ask one of my colleagues if they'd call open line later on this week just to promote it as well, right? It'd be really nice. And I think on our social media, that's coming out now, or it has been out the last few days. So well done, everybody. We're going to move on now in the agenda. We have Public Works. We have a status report for Councillor Fry, please.
I have a short report this evening. Just for the information, just give you some Public Works statuses. Our roads division repairs on maintenance holes, catch basins, curbs, sidewalks, and asphalt continue. Our bulk garbage pickup is ongoing. Street and sidewalk sweeping are ongoing. And of course, litter cleanup, which we encourage everybody to do around their homes and businesses. For our Parks Division, we have trail maintenance ongoing, spring maintenance on sports fields is ongoing, and litter cleanup there as well. There's a common theme here. Our Fleet Division has ongoing service and maintenance, and we have general calls for our UTM division, water and sewer repairs, leak detection, water main valve servicing, and exercising. And as you can see in your kit, lift station inspections and maintenance. And as you can see in your kit here, the water levels at Babel's Big Pond as of May 19th are probably the highest that we've seen so far. So they're very healthy. And that's it for me, Your Worship. Thank you.
Wow, that was a good report. Glad to see the water level so high. We don't know if we're going to have a dry summer, but you always like to know for health and safety and fire safety, especially, that we have lots of water. Next we have community events and recreation, a spotlight on the recreation. Deputy Mayor Kiley, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. For the information and the attention and consideration of the council and public, I've got some highlights to provide council and residents with an overview of some upcoming recreation activities and community events. So what's quite exciting is June is lining up to be quite an eventful month. So join us at June as we celebrate Recreation Month, of course. And there's going to be a variety of fun, active, and inclusive programs and events planned for all ages. challenges, from free drop-in activities, fitness classes, and community events. There are plenty of ways to get involved, and whether you're trying something new, staying active, or connecting with others, there's something for everyone. So you can visit our website, of course, check us out on social media, and for the next coming days, there'll be full details and updates. Of course, the city is also proud to celebrate Pride in the Pearl with a full schedule of inclusive, welcoming, and community-driven events throughout June. So from raising the Pride flag to family-friendly celebrations, social gatherings, and wellness-focused programming, these events really reflect our commitment to inclusion, visibility, and respect for diversity. And so whether you're looking for something to connect or you're looking to connect, learn, celebrate, or just simply show your support, there is something for everyone. So join us and come together to celebrate the 2S LGBTQIA plus community and build stronger, more inclusive Mount Pearl with us. So you can check again our website and our social media for full details. Also, Elite Dance will be hosting a year-end dance recital at the Glacier Arena. That'll be this Friday, June 5th, and Saturday, June 6th. These recitals are traditionally draw a large number of parents, family members, and guests to the facility. And so as a result, parking lots and surrounding areas are expected to be, expected to be short-term congestion on both evenings. So just be aware of that and certainly take your time. And attendees are encouraged to allow extra time for arrival and parking. So again, take your time. Maybe take a few extra minutes to plan that, and that's just a few of many of the things happening in June. And that is my report, Your Worship.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. We're going to move on to the next item in the agenda, and it's community safety, and it's Councillor Lane, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just one item on the agenda for my committee as well. It's the upcoming traffic advisories for the MS Walk and law enforcement torch run, and this is for information purposes only. The annual MS Walk will take place on Sunday, May 31st, 2026, commencing at 11 a.m. at the Reed Community Center parking lot and ending in the same location. While participants normally walk on sidewalks, motorists will be advised that there could potentially be traffic delays in the areas of Old Placentia Road, Smallwood Drive, Commonwealth Avenue, Richard Nolan Drive, and Ashford Drive. We also have the annual law enforcement torch run in support of the Special Olympics that will take place on June 12th, with participants scheduled to arrive at the City Depot at approximately 11:30 a.m. This event raises awareness and support for Special Olympics programs, and members of the public are encouraged to stop by and show their support for the runners and the cause. And that's it for my agenda this evening.
Thank you so much. We're going to move on to the next report. Engineering, Councillor Rice.
Thank you, Worship. The first one here I got is, a second, I know, it all opened up. This one is our contract recommendation, 2026 to 2028, material testing and inspection services, standing offer. The number on this one is TP-26-005. So the city received 7 submissions for the 2026 to 2028 material testing and inspection services standing offer. 6 of the 7 bidders submitted complying proposals, of which 4 met the minimum technical requirements. This standing offer provides a cost-effective approach for supporting city projects. The cost allocated to these respective project budgets. Work to be performed consists of material and compaction testing of asphalt, concrete, granular materials, and subgrade to ensure compliance with the municipal water, sewer, and road master construction specifications and the city's standards. So I mentioned the committee recommends that the contract for the 2026 to 2028 material testing and inspection services standing offer be awarded to Gemtech Consulting Engineering and Sciences Limited in the amount of $171,351.73, HST included. I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Rice, and I'm double checking it, and thank you. Second by Councillor Randall. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary-minded? None? Carried.
Next one is for information purposes only. It's a capital works update. So for information, attention, and consideration of council and the public, the Farrell Drive pump house upgrades, construction is ongoing on that project. It's around 44% complete. The 2025 concrete works construction is 90% complete. 2026 asphalt and concrete work to be in the week of May the 19th. White Boulevard upgrade construction is 70% complete. On that one, work has resumed there. The sewage lift station, Mount Carson Avenue, construction is ongoing, 95% complete. Jackman Drive upgrades, construction has begun, about 15% complete on that project. Under the water tower access road, construction is resumed there as well, 55% complete. Water storage tank design build, construction ongoing, that one's around 20% complete. And the Glencoe culvert replacement, work is completed on that project. T-Rail crossing, Commonwealth Avenue, construction is 50% complete, and we have a construction start date again to resume on June the 1st. The 2026 asphalt crack sealing, work to begin late spring of 2026, and under 2026 to 2028 street markings, construction to begin within the next 2 weeks, and I've noticed today that some of that has already started around the city. Yep, so that's it for our report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rice. Councillor Randall has a question.
Just a quick question, Councillor Rice, or you or Director Bat can answer. Singularly, when I'm walking the trails, my number one question I get, when is the trail going to open on Commonwealth Avenue? It seems like we keep on saying it's going to be done, but now it says June the 1st. How long will that take? When will it be completed?
I see the director going for the microphone. All yours, Director Bat.
Thank you, Councillor Randall. Yeah, it's going to be resumed on June 1st. Part of this project is going to involve some curb cuts, some curb and sidewalk replacement there as well. But the pole bases, they're precast off-site, so they're being worked on right now. So this work will, when June 1st comes, we're going to excavate and install those pole bases. A lot of the hardware, like the poles themselves and the buttons and things like that, that's going to come shortly thereafter, but we're targeting for the beginning of July for this to be operational.
So construction for the month of June, line painting will be done, the crosswalk will be done, and I heard the community center is going to be finished soon, so that's all good. Director Bat, you're busy. Any other questions for Councillor Rice? Hearing none, I'm going to look at the items corporate services have. All yours, Councillor Randall.
Corporate services are busy. You're out spending money and we had to pay money. So it's we got to pay our bills. The first one is invoices for approval for May 2026. And you see them, they're in the kit totaling. There's 16 there in your kit, totally for $1,031,072.36. And there's a few there in the kit that you might want to draw attention to. One I've noticed was for $319,234 for salt. Hopefully we haven't got to purchase any more salt. And after the weather today, Director Dalamont, I hope that we're all good. And I think all these, and there's a lot there for our regional services. And I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Randall, seconded by Councillor Locke, who also has a question.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple there I just was going to ask about. The first one was item number 5 there, City of St. John's, operating and capital adjustment for $301,000. I'm just wondering if we can get some further detail on that.
I'm going to go to Director Mullins, Corporate Services.
Yes, I can speak to that one. So that's for our regional water services. And so this is a normal invoice that we would get when they do their year-end review. And we would normally get either an invoice adjustment or a credit memo. So this is not abnormal for us to receive. The rates did go up in 2025 for regional water. So that's what that invoice is for.
So does that mean we used more water or we generated more wastewater?
I can try to help out with that answer. So in 2025, the actual cost per cubic meter of water increased. So that is direct relation to the cost here. Not that we used more, but the cost actually went up per cubic meter. Actually, no, I think we were right on target to where we anticipated.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things going on. The volume gets adjusted because we don't know what the volume is for the regional system. And, you know, a lot of the cost is fixed. And then sometimes the cost may come in more or less. And our I think it's done based on per cap, no, it's based on cubic liters, isn't it? Cubic meters of water. Yeah, so it just depends on consumption. So there's adjustments made at the end of the year. Sometimes it's a credit. This year, we didn't get a credit, but my only question for Director Mullins is this over and above what we budgeted for 2026? Because it's really a 25 related item. I'm assuming we're going to accrue that back to 25 and avoid any budget issues in 26?
Yes, yes, that's correct. That's accrued for 2025.
So any surplus would be lower, any deficit would be higher for once that's all known. Okay, thanks. Anybody else? Back to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Second one here. Just trying to find the number now. On the dog, oh yeah, Parks dog waste bags. You know, we're talking $5,054. I'm just curious because I see a lot of these bags that aren't in the receptacles. They're hanging from trees and in the grounds and that. But I'm just curious, two questions. What will the $5,000 purchase for us in terms of number of bags? And how many of these bags do we go through annually? I don't know if Director Donovan will have those data before him, but just curious.
That's a great question. So based on this invoice here, what this amounts to is we purchased 60 cases with 2,000 bags per case, which amounts to 120,000 dog waste bags. We do. Usually we'll have to purchase this amount at least twice within one calendar year. Yes.
I'm not even going to ask you how many dogs we have. Any more thoughts, questions? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor, and those who are opposed, carried.
Thank you. And number two, Your Worship, is our payment register, and this is for your information only. We pay our bills, and this is how we pay them. First off, I'm just loading this up. For the information of council, for the payment register report from May 7th to the 19th, it totaled $2,027,930.89. And for our purchase card report, March 26th to April 27th, for a total of $697,864.31. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll move forward regarding our Housing Accelerator Fund. This is a regular thing happening. Our team is doing fabulous to increase housing here in the city of Mount Pearl. Just putting up here now. The Housing Accelerator Fund, as I explained last week, is a federal government initiative. The program is aimed at building homes quickly with a focus on high density. The city has received 2 eligible applicants for these. One is at 26 Smallwood Drive. The other one is at 3 Sycamore Place. They're eligible. Their project cost is there, but they're eligible for a $10,000 eligibility fund, and I so move.
Any questions? Hearing none, I'll call that question. All in favor? Contrary-minded? Carried.
And number 3, thanks to our director, Janice Mullins, number 4. Yeah, I can't get the numbers either. I'm only on finance, so. All right. So number 4, thanks to Janice, she gave me a report that's a little bit easier. You can see it's on our election report. It's quite entailed. The 2025 Mount Pearl Municipal Election Report is included in tonight's council agenda. The report provides an overview of the election process, outlines candidate participation, and presents the official results. It also identifies key issues and challenges encountered during the election and puts forward 7 recommendations aimed at improving future municipal elections. Following the election, the city noted several deficiencies within the Municipal Elections Act 2001. As a result, Council submitted a resolution to municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador requesting that it advocate the provincial government for legislative improvements. These include enhancing accessibility in municipal elections, strengthening protections for candidates' privacy, and addressing other identified concerns through a review of the Act in consultation with MNL and municipalities across the province. In November, MNL members adopted a resolution at their annual general meeting. More recently, at the MNL Symposium early this month, Department of Municipal Affairs and Community Affairs hosted a session that marked the beginning of the province's review of the Municipal Elections Act. The City of Mount Pearl is encouraged to see both MNL and the Department respond promptly to these concerns and begin this important work. I now move that the Council adopt the 2025 election report and then approve its recommendations contained within. I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Antle and seconded by Councillor Locke. Any comments, questions? Councillor Locke.
Thank you, Mayor. No, a lot of good detail and data here, and I noticed that there's a table for, recommendations for improvement. A little disheartening when you see the drop in voter turnout from 40% in 2021 to 28% in 2025, and I know there's a myriad of possible contributing factors here, but one I would like to see addressed, I know we've brought this up, is the provincial voters list is not up to date. It was inaccurate. We know the number of people that were added to the voters list, but there didn't seem to be any evidence that people were taken from the voters list, those that moved from the city, those who were deceased. And of course, that'll impact the voter turnout. If there was 400 people on the list or 500 on the list that shouldn't have been on the list, that would drive up our voter turnout from 28% to higher. So I would like to see a better job done on the voters list I know we rely on the province for that, from that perspective. Also, there's a table of recommendations there, and I'll just query this as I was reading through it. Some we have status updates, some are completed, some the recommendation stands, some is not recommended, but there are a few there that that had no status update. So I'm just curious now as to, is that something that's ongoing? Is it like continued requiring identification for all voters? It was recommended in 2025. Is that going to go forward? Because it's not clearly outlined for anybody reading this outside of council, the status of that. MNL lobby elections NL to address inaccuracies in the voters list. That's another one that's there that I support. A clear vote by proxy. Okay, I agree with that as well. But I'd also like to see if, I know they're updating the Elections Act and we had discussions with MNL and our VP is to my right here with MNL, but I'd also like to communicate to the province that they have a fixed election date legislatively, but they change their date of elections. We don't have that option as municipalities. And I know during our tenure, Mayor, we've had a couple of incidents where there was a federal, provincial, and municipal. And we're always the last election, which is voter fatigue. And then, there's confusion amongst the electorate. So I'd like to communicate to our provincial counterparts the importance of having a big enough buffer between, because in my humble opinion, municipal council and politics, this is where the rubber hits the road. I would suggest this is an important election where we need people's input because it more directly impacts their day-to-day life. And the strong overlap, I think, did a disservice to the municipal election last time around. I would also, I know we've recommended to it, I would like to see, and Councillor Antle mentioned that they're looking at the Elections Act. I would like to see further exploration of online voting. And I'd also like to look at and I raised this during our committee of the whole meeting, that during the federal election, and Councillor Fry gave me the correct terminology at the time that I forget, but we had two advanced polls. But in the federal election, we were able to, it was a much longer period of time where the electorate could get out and cast their vote. And 28% voter turnout, to me, is not good enough in a municipal election. So we need to take action, whatever it is, online voting, a longer period for advanced voting. We need to engage our electorate to get the vote count up. So I just hope that some action is taken there as well. Also, another one of our recommendations, but I don't think there was a status update there, or maybe there was. I think there was, about the signage. Again, speaking with residents, it's visual pollution, it's visual litter, especially when you have multiple elections back to back to back. And it's also the mess in our open spaces and along our trailways of election signs. So I've been advocating for a number of years now, if we can control the amount of signs on city lands, if we designated certain city lands only, I think the major entranceways to the city should be designated as only the location for election signs. Give every candidate a square footage, be it, 32 square feet or whatever it is they want to use, and that should be the location only on city lands. If people want to use private lawn signs, well, that's something that I'd support. But I would like to see further action to cut down, like when we do these spring cleanups, I'm after finding election signs that were 20 years old, 18 years old, buried in the woods under grass. They don't deteriorate. They're in our rivers, they're in our waterways. So I would like to see further further investigations into that. But overall, a great report here, and I want to tip my hat to the staff of the city who ran the election. It's not an easy task. There's a lot of balls in the air. There's a lot of things they're dealing with. Not to mention the Canada Post strike, and they handled it with grace, and we had a very successful election. I would just like to see a higher voter turnout. Sorry, Mayor, I know I've gone over my time, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's your roundtable for tonight. Just kidding. No, it's all good. And I may not agree with your thoughts, but I just wanted to say, from a process point of view, we're adopting the report. We're not actioning the recommendations. I think the bulk of what you're saying is more at the provincial level, because I think the issues that we have with voter turnout, for example, in the provincial federal elections are common to all municipalities in the province. So I think the action that's going to come back here, where there's a gap, is to bring it to MNL again this fall. On the signage issue, no, that probably is in keeping with a review of our signage regulations. But I just want to point out, adopting tonight's report does not adopt the specific action that would have to come back to council, right? Councillor Fry.
Yeah, I agree with what Councillor Locke was talking about in terms of having access to vote, because that's when you get a higher voter turnout, when people have easy access. And I believe what you were referring to, Councillor Locke, was called special ballots. And during provincial and federal elections, you can go into any returning office and vote from the time that the election from the writ is dropped and the election is called until, I think, probably the day of or the day before. You can go into the office, the elections returning office, and vote. So I don't know if we have the option of doing something like that, or it might be something we can explore, that somebody, if they're going to be out of town, and I mean, I know there are other options, but just for ease of vote, if they're going to be out of town, they can come down to City Hall and maybe vote or something like that. So I fully agree with you on that, and I think that's a missed opportunity. I don't know if it's within our purview from a municipal election, or if we have to lobby for further change there, but I see a big benefit in that. Just want to agree with you on that.
All good. I'm going to Councillor Antle, and then I think we're done.
Just a quick note, as I mentioned there in the report, just last month in November, right, MNL, they had a session regarding elections. MNL did that, and most things you spoke about, that's what they talked about. Every other municipality had the same issues. How do we get voters to be more engaged. When you're only getting, like, one community had 19%, we're lucky we had 28%. That's one of the high ones. We had to get people out to vote. It was online voting, but I think the department's looking at that to see, however, what's the best way. With MNL, we got to figure out a way to get more people involved. I think online voting is the right way to do it, but I don't think the government is really into that right now. Anyhow, it's everything for me.
Let's clue this up shortly. Councillor Fry.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that MNL are not the governing body around the elections, but they can advocate for provincial change. And that's where, I just wanted to clarify that because it's not MNL that are the governing body. But I believe that the key to a higher voter turnout is making it more accessible, making it easier for people to vote. And online voting would be ideal, but that comes with a lot of security measures. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that.
I'm going to call the motion. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Back to you.
And it was great to see that was Councillor Locke's round table tonight. The next discussion is number 5. It's regarding our finance and delegating some authority. Yeah, and Councillor Fry already had hers too. Included in tonight's council agenda is a detailed decision note regarding delegation of authority to staff for routine financial matters. Delegating these routine matters with the parameters of procurement legislation will improve process and timelines and reduce administrative burden. The recommendation delegates paired with clear limits and regulate reporting to council supports good governance while maintaining transparency and accountability. I put forward the following 4 motions. Resolved that pursuant to Section 64 of the City of Mount Pearl Act and Section 15 of the Public Procurement Regulations, that council delegate the authority of the head of the public body to the chief administrative officer to authorize a change order or aggregate value of change orders to the value of 10% of the original contract or $15,000, whichever is greater, within the public scope of an open or limited call for bids or a negotiated contract. Number 2, resolve that the council delegate authority to the chief administrative officer to approve invoices for payment of goods and services rendered up to $50,000 per invoice, subject to approved budget and compliance with the city's procurement and financial control policies, and that the Department of Corporate Services provide monthly reports to council. And 3, resolve that council delegate authority to the chief administrative officer to approve the write-off of business tax accounts deemed uncollectible up to $25,000 following documented collection efforts, and that periodic reports of such write-offs be provided to council for information. And 3, resolve that council resolve that council delegate authority to the manager of finance to write off small tax balances of less than $15 for over or under the payment. And I so move.
Moved by Councillor Antle, second by Councillor Locke. I think what we're doing here is just cleaning up some immaterial transactions. Plus, so for example, if a decision needs to be made after tonight on approving an invoice and paying a contractor or a vendor, if that was done tomorrow morning, we'd have to wait 2 weeks for a public council meeting for it to get approved. So there's lots of checks and balances through the internal controls. So this, I think, is going to streamline some of the payment processes at the end of the day. Further thoughts, council? All right. Deputy Mayor, good. I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Number 6 is regarding our Federation of Canadian Municipalities annual spring conference. The conference that takes place in Edmonton from June 4th to the 7th, 2026. On the evening of June the 4th, a Newfoundland and Labrador networking event will take place. There are over 360 delegates all across Canada, and this gives us a great opportunity to promote Newfoundland and Labrador and, of course, our city of Mount Pearl. And this is a really good spend. It's $1,000, and I support this recommendation, and I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Antle, second by Councillor Locke. Any comments, questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried, thank you.
And my next one, Your Worship, I'll
Oh,
just
one
take a
moment.
second.
Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm just going to mute myself and just move myself out for the following agenda item. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'll call you back in a minute.
The department recommends that the deputy mayor Colley be granted a medical leave of absence from May 27, 2026 to September 30th, 2026. This is pursuant to Section 2.4 of the City of Mount Pearl Council Remuneration and Reimbursement Regulations. A councillor may take leave of absence without remuneration with the approval of council, and I so move.
Moved again by Councillor Antle, second by Councillor Locke. Any questions or comments before I call the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Carried. That marks the end of our report. Give me a second to get the deputy mayor back. She's going to speak to this on in her term in the roundtable. Yeah. Welcome back, Deputy Mayor. All good? Okay, thank you very much. So for tonight's roundtable, we're going to start with Councillor Lane.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just one item for me this evening. I just wanted to remind residents that we currently have our 20-minute makeover going on in the city. Hopefully, as the weather gets nice, people have plenty of opportunities to get outside and do their part to try to make our city clean. Residents can pick up free cleanup kits with bags and gloves at the Reed Community Center or City Hall. I've already seen on social media that some communities have got together and have started putting together little cleanup crews. And I think it's very important that we all do our part to clean up the city. And that's it for me.
Thank you very much. Councillor Fry.
Well, 2 weeks ago, we had our Focus on Youth Awards, and what a great night it was. So I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate our two Youth of the Year, which is Alex Taylor and Emily Hounsel. And I'm looking forward to working with them this year. I think they're both going to be great. But, you know, it's really impressive to see the skills and the accomplishments of these young people. So we have an awful lot to be proud of. And in times when most often you just hear the negative is always in the news, you hear those things. To see the accomplishments and the extraordinary achievements of these young people, it's really refreshing. And that's what we need to focus on. So congratulations to Emily and Alex.
Thank you, Councillor Fry. Councillor Locke?
Thank you, Mayor. I just have 8 here. Sorry, just kidding, just one. I did attend the Accessibility Resource Fair last evening that was held at the Annex. And a lot of tables over there, a lot of people from different organizations. And it was just nice to see the support and all the opportunities that are out there for, it was a great venue for anybody that wanted information. So I just wanted to congratulate the organizers on a good event and for those that participated. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. I think that was organized by Brianna Pelly, she's our in Recreation and Public Safety. So yeah, nice to see a unique event like that and supporting everybody in our community. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just have one item, and it's in relation to the corporate services item that I had to step out of, and I just wanted to say a few words about that. After much reflection, I've decided to take a leave of absence from my duties on council due to a significant personal and family circumstances, and the impact this can have on my capacity and well-being. This decision was not made lightly. Serving the people of Mount Pearl has been one of the greatest honors in my life, and my commitment to our community remains unwavering. Right now, I need to take the necessary time and space to focus on my family and health with the intention of returning to continue the work that I care so deeply about. I do want to sincerely thank the residents of Mount Pearl, my colleagues, city staff, and the broader community for the kindness, understanding that you've shown me throughout this time, and in fact, throughout all times of my public service. It has meant more than I can express. And thank you so very much. Thank you, Your Worship.
No, thank you, Deputy Mayor, for your service to our city. And let's not put it in the context that your service is over. We look forward to having you back, and we wish you, from a medical perspective, a good journey. And I must say, I did tell you in a phone call earlier on today, I would keep you up to date where possible. I said with the good, the bad, and the you know what, right? So, if you'll take our phone call from time to time, we're going to be thinking about you. We're here to support you, you and your family, and we look forward to down the road seeing more of you here at the chamber and whatnot. But in the meantime, I'm glad you're taking care of yourself and your family. So appreciate your kind words too. Thank you.
And yours too, Your Worship. It means a great deal. Thank you.
Councillor Antle.
Firstly, Nicole, you're doing the right thing. I mean, family is first, your health is first. Take care of yourself. And I'm sure we'll see you back here after the Labor Day weekend. Thank you. Best luck. I'll make the Councillor Locke. I got about 15 things to talk about. So I did have 3 or 4 things, but I only got one because for the sake of time. A lady in Mount Pearl is retiring. She retired last Saturday, and we all know who she is. We torment her all the time. Her name is Pauline. All you got to do is say Pauline. She's more popular than Cher. You go around Mount Pearl and you walk in, you say Pauline, and it's Pauline Osborne. She worked at the Tin Can. I think when the Tin Can opened up, Pauline was there. She's been at every hockey game. She sold more tickets than anybody else. She's always there for a hug and a joke. And I think she knows us all. Every one of us know her. She's going to be missed. She's going to be around. We're going to get to see her all the time. I don't think you'll be at the glacier for sure, and Pauline's going to be there. All right. And I think if we should send a little card from council, congratulations to Pauline. Any person, I think she's supposed to be the longest employee we have in the city. I mean, she can write a history book, I'm sure, oodles of stuff. But she's going to be missed. I saw it on Facebook the other day. I know how old she is. I won't say how old she is, but because I value my life greatly. And but well done, Pauline. I know you're watching. Congratulations. Enjoy the retirement. And thank you very much, guys.
Oh, no. Kind words. Well said. Yeah. And we will certainly make sure a card is prepared if it's not already, because normally the staff and HR would initiate that by now. So all good. Thank you. Over to you, Councillor Rice.
Thank you, Worship. A couple of things for me. First, I'd like to ask a question. I don't know who can answer it, but municipal plan for the city. It's at the government. I know it's in at provincial government right now. Is there any update that we can give? Because I'd like to try to put this public, because I know we've had the discussion of how long it's taking to get that municipal plan back authorized and approved by the provincial government. Is there any update that we can give on that?
Yeah, I think the technical piece is pretty well finished. I spoke with Minister Tibbs at the MNL symposium with the goal of getting, to your point, getting a date, because it's got to come back here for adoption. And then there also has to be another hearing, I think, in order for it to be written into a law by I don't know if it's the legislature or approved by the minister. So there's a little bit more. And listen, it's hurting us. Not having a municipal plan updated, one that reflects the modern realities of today, as you would say, Councillor Rice, our goals about density and developing the city are hindered. I think the plan has been with government now since January of 2025. So, we're into 18 months and, or give or take, right? And so we're pursuing it. I'll be meeting with the minister next week, and it's sure to come up again. So that's the update I can give. Our CAO's not here. Director Batt, do you want to add to that?
What I can say is there's ongoing communication with the province. There's back and forth on a few items, but more or less the approval's out of the city's hands for now. So we'll have to wait and see when we receive final approval.
And frankly, we got to have it back here sometime in June because you know what happens in summer, things seem to slow down with holidays and the like. And that commissioner's hearing has to be established. And that'll put us, I guess, near the finish line.
Yes, thanks for the update. And I realize it's a process, but the longevity of the process, I know we had a change of government, and we, as a municipality, we can't really look at that because we need that plan back because, like the mayor said, we got to approve it, and then I got to go back to back the government again. So thank you for the update, much appreciated. The second item I got on my agenda here, and I wanted to bring this up again. This has been ongoing. It's a really concerning to the city and to all the councillors. It's about the Commonwealth Lane closure over by Whitley Drive. So the lane, I'm going to give some updates on where the city stands with it and where we are with it right now at this day. So the lane closure overview. So the curbside southbound lane on Commonwealth Avenue between the two intersections with Whitley Drive has been closed since late November 2025. The closure affects a single lane over a stretch of approximately 140 meters. The area remains an active work zone due to safety concern related to the underground infrastructure. The city recognizes and shares the frustration of residents and commuters and is committed to resolving the issue and restoring full access to Commonwealth Avenue as soon as possible. The cause of this issue. The issue originated in December of 2025 when Bell conducted work within an underground concrete chamber at this location. During a routine city inspection, concerns were identified regarding the structural integrity of the chamber roof in that chamber cavity. Bell subsequently retained a third-party structural engineering firm to carry out further inspections and testing. In late February 2026, the assessment determined that the chamber roof of that cavity does not meet required load capacity under the Canadian Highway Bridge Design Code. So the repair approach on this one will be, initial repair approach was reviewed, but determined by a professional engineer to be insufficient to the safety support traffic loads in that area. As a result, Bell was required to revise its approach and submit updated engineering drawings to the city. There's been a lot of communication back and forth between Bell and the city on this one. Following further review and revisions, Bell has moved away from the underground solution now at this point. And instead, Bell is proceeding with an above-ground cable transfer solution, which is currently underway. And the updated timeline on this one is the original repair target of the original date back from November was mid-May of 2026. However, due to the engineering and design challenges, this timeline was not achievable. The city has been constantly requesting that timelines be accelerated whenever possible. So the communication lines have been kept open between the city and Bell. Bell now expects the work to be completed by July of 2026. Delays to date have been influenced by several factors, including the need for detailed structural assessment and redesign, initial review and approach processes, and the weather conditions impacting inspections and fieldwork. So the final part of this one, or I should say the final part, but coordination with Bell. The city has remained in regular contact with Bell throughout this process. While there are delays in developing a suitable repair solution, Bell has responded to the issue identified and is proceeding with the work required. City staff continue to actively engage with Bell to support completion of the project as quickly as possible. The public communications on this, the city has maintained an ongoing notice regarding this work on the mountpearl.ca website. Updates have also been provided through Facebook, beginning with the initial notice in November, followed by updates in December, and then again in January. The recourse on this would be, at this time, the city is not pursuing any action or recourse against Bell related to the delays, but the city's priority right now remains ensuring that the work is to be completed safely and in compliance with all regulatory requirements. To say this has been elongated and, the residents are so frustrated with this, and so our council. The communication with Bell back and forth has been, you know, a bit washy to say the least, but hopefully going forward, we can come up with a solution and get that lane open back up. So just want to give an update on that report. Bit elongated, but we needed to say that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. It needed to be, look, this is totally, absolutely unacceptable from a company of this nature. You know, they must realize that they have a lot of customers. Obviously, that's why they have the cables, you know, here in the city of Mount Pearl. And it's really unacceptable to close a lane down for what amounts to, I think, 8 months. Our hands were kind of tied because of the structural issue, but now to say that, oh, they don't want to do what they intended to do, because they're basically admitting they didn't want to do it, say, on the cheap, or they didn't want to do it structurally sound, and now they're reconsidering and doing it another way. It makes you wonder if they'd picked that right way in the first place, would they have this done back in January? Director Scott? Or Director Batts, sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to add, based on conversations this week, Bell has committed to implementing a temporary steel plate solution to hopefully open the roadway sooner than the final completion date for the project. So fingers crossed we receive that in short order. But they have committed to that, and the requirement from the city is that it is still safe and to support those vehicle loads that we want to ensure the safety of the public.
Oops, yep, no, thanks. Anybody else got a comment? It's frustrating, and I'm glad Councillor Rice brought it up. Councillor Lane.
Yes, my gosh, losing my words. I share in Councilor Rice's concerns. I've gotten emails and phone calls from several residents now. And I mean, I completely understand their concern and their frustration. It's been a very long time now that that lane has been closed. But I just want to let residents know that we're 100% on the same side as you are. We also share in that concern and that frustration, but we're doing everything that we can at this time to make sure that it's resolved. At this point, there is nothing further we can do than let the work happen to get it opened. We've advocated, our staff have been very diligent on communication and advocation. But beyond that, at this point, there's nothing else we can do but wait for the work to get done. And again, completely understand the frustration. We feel it too, but we are on the side of the residents. I mean, we're residents ourselves. We're driving these streets, we're living it, and it will be taken care of.
Thank you very much. Roundtable's complete. Good council meeting, great discussion, lots of work done. Deputy Mayor, you got to keep in touch. We're always going to be thinking about you, and I know you'll be thinking about us from time to time. And so this is not farewell. This is bon voyage, and we'll see you when you get to your next destination. And with that, folks, I'm going to call for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Rice, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Antle. We are adjourned.